Woo! How y'all doing? Let me tell y'all, they are saying, a lot of people in this video, white and black, saying that whites are realizing, white Americans that is, blacks was the heroes all along. Yeah, they're eating it up. Honey, when I tell you this video has so much information and intel how America's from black and white is feeling in this country, and knowing that, hey, a lot of white people say they've been bamboozled by their own people, not giving them the honest truth about their history and what's really going on. And that is why they're trying to ban the history books and repaint it, just like they did the reversion of the Bible again and again and again to their benefit. All right, so comment, let us know what you guys think. I just want to say thank you all for the likes and the shares. Keep this channel alive by liking and subscribing and commenting. I want to know, what are your thoughts about these individuals that's speaking out in America now? Goodbye.
There's no boycott, economic blackout, or strike that's ever going to work without the black community showing up. We are the #1 consumers in this country. We are the majority holders of the jobs that run this place. Part of our oppression is keeping us in these diabolical low-waged positions. A part of our oppression is keeping us in these jobs that are going to be taxed the highest rates. And unless black Americans join in, there's no way we will ever get any movement to work. Black America, I am calling out to you because I know without you, we won't win this battle. A revolution will never happen without black Americans joining in. And everything that is going on right now is detrimental to our community. I know you've heard about the People's Sick Day. I know you've seen it come across your FYP. So why haven't you joined us yet? You know this won't work without you. And if we don't do this, our children will suffer the worst fate of this in the end. These jobs we hate, they'll hate them more. These loans we can't get, they'll get less of. These schools they underfund will be more underfunded. Without our efforts, there's no way we will fix this, and our children will suffer the consequences of it the most.
America has no culture. That's why it's greedy. That's why it's by itself. That's why it's hated. It has no culture. Everyone that comes here comes for one reason: greed. It's the only reason they come here, and they leave everything behind. Everything. Their land, their culture, their family, their relations. It's pathetic. We're prisoners of war. Legally, that's what they won't tell you that. But in order for them to continually violate their constitution and their treaties with us, we have to be prisoners of war. Okay? So the whole idea of what Guantanamo and Bagram comes from Indian reservations, just like the Nazi, what Hitler called the labor camps. That he wrote, the United States of America has a great idea. Apartheid in South Africa, that came here. The West Bank, the whole strategy of the Israelis comes from America, because it's an outlaw country. It always has been an outlaw country. It's evil to its own people, and they don't see it.
If you really think about it, bruh, it's our world and everybody's just living in it. Everybody always talk about, oh, black Americans have main character complex or main character syndrome. Maybe it's because y'all think we're the main characters. So y'all treat us like the main characters. So we feel like the main characters because we are the main characters now. You know what I mean? Somebody's always hating on us, hating on our shit, talking about us. Somebody's always showing love to us, as they should, bro. Like our culture, music, fashion, language. Our culture is the most, what's it called? It's the most assimilated into. The most assimilated into. It's the most copied, the most emulated. It's really our world, bro. I'm trying to tell you, the whole world is watching. From the outside of the club, though.
Immigrants did not build America. Slaves and their descendants, Black Americans, built America, like quite literally with their hands, okay? Let me explain to you the issue with Shabuzi's Grammy speech. Let me start by saying that immigrants have greatly enriched this country, okay? We would not be where we are without them. However, they did not build America. And I think this is such an important distinction to make during Black History Month, because the comment, immigrants built America, is rooted in the erasure of Black contribution, okay? Specifically, Black American contribution, however involuntary it was. I understand that Shabuzi was coming from a good place when he said that immigrants built this country, but historically and factually, it is incorrect, baby. Chattel slavery built this country. And it is important to recognize that. People don't want to talk about slavery, but the reality is that slavery in the cotton economy is what gave America its legs, baby. There would be no America without slavery. The enrichment that is immigration did not come until significantly after slavery, right? Slavery dates back to the 1600s, girl, okay? All the way until 1865, where we get the Emancipation Proclamation. And even after this point, there were some Black people who were still being held captive as slaves because they just didn't get the news yet, girl, okay? So when you think about that, how long slavery spanned, okay? And the fact that we get ushered into Reconstruction and Jim Crow, and slaves are now repurposed as sharecroppers, right? Or repurposed into roles in which they are only good for service. They are only good for, you know, functional positions that help prop up the country, not actual careers, not anything actually profitable. Like literally, Black people simply migrated from slavery into something else until we get into the civil rights era. For the people who think that we're arguing semantics, not only is this an important distinction to make so that we are recounting American history and Black history accurately, but also because the suppression of Black history, the erasure of Black history, okay, is what leads to the repetition of these atrocities, not on Black bodies, but onto others. And this idea that Black history and American history, when it repeats, that it's going to repeat with the same people, it does not. It does not. And I think we're seeing a little bit of the proof, but that will never, ever, ever change the fact that the biggest and greatest group affected by American history, affected by the American plight, and that actually built America is Black American descendants of slaves.
America doesn't exist without Black Americans.
That's just facts. Built this whole damn country for free. Every brick, every rail, every road laid with blood and sweat that never got a paycheck. And what did they get in return? Chains, whips, red lines, nooses, Jim Crow, COINTELPRO, prisons, knees on necks, bullets in backs. Ain't no other group forced to love a country that hates them like this. That's strength. That's America. 400 years of free labor built the economy. Cotton alone was worth $3 billion in 1860. That is trillions today. Wall Street, founded on slave trade. The White House, built by enslaved hands. Every dollar ever printed got Black labor backed into it. But tell a racist that and they act like it's a history opinion. They fought in every war. Crispus Attucks bled first for this country in 1770. Black soldiers saved America in the Civil War. Hell, World War II fought Hitler while getting lynched at home. Vietnam drafted in disproportionate numbers. The thanks they got: GI Bills blocked, housing loans denied, neighborhoods flooded with heroin by their own government. Look it up. And you still got racists yelling, "Go back to Africa," like they ain't the original stolen property. Malcolm X said it best. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock landed on us. Ain't that the truth? Black folks got every right to hate this place, but they stay. They fight. They create. They revolutionize. America wouldn't exist without them, and it damn sure would collapse.
How would Black people survive on this planet if white people didn't exist? Now, some people might think of this as a joke, but this is actually a very serious question.
The truth is, you will always point your finger at black people because that's what you do. That's what white supremacists do. And you, sir, are a diehard white supremacist.
So I just watched the show Them on Amazon Prime. Very traumatizing and triggering show. I literally cried for 2 hours after the Cat in the Bag episode. I'm still fucked up about that shit. A show that all YT people should watch, since they like to pretend that, you know, racism doesn't exist and things just happened so long ago, even though they're happening right now. And it just made me think about how, you know, you have people getting lip injections and tanning their skin to the point they look like alligators, and they have leather skin and they look like a freaking belt. Even though, you know, when you have a lack of melanin, every time you tan your skin in UV rays, you're causing yourself skin cancer because you don't have melanin. And how they go and get these perms and they're blackfishing, and how all of our culture, clothing, music, food, if you even go on social media, everything is revolved around black culture. And then you take it even further back to Europe, when the Europeans didn't wash their ass. They were eating rats. They didn't even know how to grow any food. Like, they didn't know how to do shit. Also, us cave dwellers would not even exist if it wasn't for black people, because they were the first people on Earth. Like, YT people wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for black people. Because of the bubonic plague, because they didn't know how to feed themselves, they didn't know how to wash themselves, they were living in caves. Like, black people literally taught them agriculture, literally taught them how to bathe, literally taught them how to fucking survive, taught them everything. And again, we wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for black people. Like, our great-great-great-great-great-granddaddies and grandmamas once upon a time were black because they were the original human. So we come from black people. They created us. They're dominant, so we obviously wouldn't be genetically superior. Obviously, when even rock and roll and Elvis, and we found out Beethoven was black, but all of the music has been stolen from black people, all of the art, all of the inventions. They're strong, they're athletic. That's why, you know, these YT team owners love to exploit black athletes and make their money, and young talent, the dancing, obviously. The music, the talent, the dancing, the strength. Back in the day, they didn't know where to find water or how to grow food. So they exploited.
They can't survive. Matter of fact, if you look at the statistics, white people are dying right now. They are dying more than they're repopulating, and that's why so many black people are coming up missing.
First of all,
notice they getting all these different type of melanin shots inside of them. They're trying to deal with the sun more. Right now, with all of these heat rays and how the sun is heating up, and all of the ultraviolet infrared rays is coming from the sun, man, white people are dying globally from skin cancer. The sun is beating they
white
ass.
people try to
literally especially in Israel. Look up the sun cancer epidemic in Israel. Man, the sun is whooping they ass.
Didn't know that.
But they need melanin. For the sun can charge them and make them supernatural like it does us. We are supernatural people. We are an eternal people. We really is.
We the reason America. Not just with the Civil War, brother. Let's go before the Civil War. Let's go to the Louisiana Purchase. Do you know that this country is 3 times the size it was? Because the Haitian Revolution went to Saint-Louis Overture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Christophe and Pétion and Cécile Fatiman and Boukman and Macandal, when they destroyed Napoleon's army, a slave army, defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. An army of slaves defeated the greatest general the white man ever had. And because the Haitian Revolution bankrupted Napoleon, he sold his American territories to America for pennies on the dollar.
I remember that.
The Louisiana Purchase loan quadrupled the size of the United States of America. So when I tell you America wouldn't be America without black people, America wouldn't be America without black.
That's a fact.
They were like, damn, we can't stay outside in the sun for hours and hours doing this shit because we'll literally die. Like, we need them to survive is what white people said. You know how you have a parasite and every parasite needs a host? YT people have been the parasite and black people have been the host. The same way males created sexism to basically exploit the greatness of women. Because we can all go to a sperm bank and get sperm. There's tons of sperm. There's endless amounts of sperm. We don't need males to reproduce. We just need the sperm. And we got it. So, you know, but even if you take an egg from another woman, you still gotta put it inside of a woman to reproduce. You still need a human body of a woman, biological woman. You still need the womb and uterus of a human being that was born female, where we can just go to a sperm bank and get some sperm. You really need a woman to reproduce. We don't need you to reproduce at this point. So clear people, YT people realized they need black people to survive. And instead of oppressing and exploiting black people, when all black people did was be nice to them more than they fucking should have, since based on what we see now, you should have let them motherfuckers eat rats. I don't even care. You should have let my ancestors eat rats and shit on themselves and not wipe. You should not have helped them. I swear you should not have, because look at the ungratefulness. Then you have the audacity to try to turn people into slaves and exploit them and use them when they were literally trying to fucking help you. They were trying to help you. And this is what the fuck you do to them. And it's the same with women. Racism was created to exploit black people and native people. And sexism was created to exploit women. Like, this goes to show you can't do nothing for no one, bro. You give an inch and motherfuckers take a mile. YT people know that they're nothing without black people.
Let me break something down for you, right? America is not just a country. It's a machine. Every piece of it. The government, the corporations, the banks, the military, the schools, they're all gears working together to keep this engine running. But here's the truth that they don't want you to realize. This machine does not run without us. Black people have been the engine oil of America since 1619. We built the infrastructure, we picked the cotton that funded Wall Street, and created the culture that powers the world. We are the rhythm, the labor, the innovation, the humanity that keeps this whole thing from rusting apart. And now under Project 2025, that same machine is being redesigned, not to include us, but to use us quietly while pretending we don't matter. They're trying to rebuild America into a system that looks free on paper, but functions like a modern plantation, where your work is necessary, but your freedom is optional, where your voice is legal, but your influence is erased. That's what this Trump regime won't say out loud. They don't want America to look racist. They just want it to function that way again. They don't want segregation signs. They want segregation through policy like housing and wages and education and even access to the truth. See, every machine needs two things, right? Power and control. And Black America has always been the power. That's why they fight so hard for the control. They can't risk us realizing how valuable we are, because if we ever moved in unity, this whole engine would have to be rebuilt from the ground up. But here's the part that they have not calculated for. We're not just workers in this machine anymore. We're becoming engineers. We're creating our own businesses. We're building our own schools. We're mastering technology and globally connecting to Africa and the diaspora. We're learning how the system works so we can build one that works for us. And let me tell you something else. If America ever tries to run without us, without our creativity, our moral compass, our spirit, it'll run loud, but it won't go anywhere. Because without the people who built it, the machine breaks down. So my message is simple. Don't fear Project 2025. Understand it. Because once you understand how this machine operates, you can stop being a cog and start being a creator. You can stop asking to be accepted and start designing your own future. Because the truth is, America needs us far more than we need it. And when that realization becomes collective, when we all start moving like we know our value, no president, no project, no policy can stop what's coming next.
To all the white people who say
If it wasn't for colonization, we wouldn't have technology. You wouldn't have this phone right now. You wouldn't be on the internet right now, etc., etc. One, not true. There was plenty of technology and mathematical and health and so many advancements prior to colonization, and all the Europeans saying, oh my God, this is so cool, I'm gonna burn it all down because I didn't make it. Just besides all of that, I would rather not have this phone, not have internet, not have access to any modern day technology if it would mean that my ancestors were not enslaved. I had the community that I was supposed to be born into. I was on the homeland that my ancestors came from. I had access to the cultural, spiritual traditions and customs that my ancestors took part of. I had access to the language that my ancestors took part of. I had access to the community that my ancestors were a part of. I do not want this shit. I do not care for this shit. I am not grateful, and I will never be grateful that my ancestors were enslaved. So you can take all of that and shove it up your ass. Thanks.